Hi there guys, I want to have a little chat about local and national pride, kind of migration, and use the footballing world as an analogy. In Spain there are two very successful clubs. One of them is Real Madrid, a club who spends hundreds of millions of pounds bringing in the best players from all over the world, and the other is FC Barcelona, who spend their time nurturing young local Catalonian talent. Now, which club do you think is the more successful? Well, it's not Real Madrid, it's FC Barcelona, and despite spending as much money as Real Madrid, what they've done is nurtured talent with a Catalonian ethos and flair, and as a result of it, and have instilled certain pride that has led them on to become the world's most successful club. Now, I talk about these two teams as euphemisms for countries. Now, in Europe, we spend a lot of time bringing in the best brains, the best minds from all over the world, like Real Madrid, and we don't really spend as much time nurturing homegrown talent because, well, they're lazy, and there are far more hungry people in other countries. Barcelona, of course, they get their young players in, their local talent, and they become the best team in the world. Now, why can't countries do the same thing as FC Barcelona? Now, I'm not for a second saying that Barcelona have just got homegrown players. They have a fine blend of perhaps 70% Catalonian players and migrants from all over the rest of the world there too, one of which is Lionel Messi, the world's best player, who is an immigrant from Argentina and has adapted the Catalonian pride, the Más que un club, more than a club mentality of Barcelona, and as a result, this little blend, this little tornado of things has created an incredible club. And I look at that club and think countries should be a little bit more like that. Now, this isn't really a pro or anti-immigration stance I'm having. It's more about pride and how players adapt into a kind of local mentality and thing. English football, on the other hand, is quite different. We have many foreigners in the league, and as a result of it, in my opinion, we have the best league in the world, and I wouldn't change that for a second. I think it's fantastic, but our English team, our national team, in case you haven't heard, is not very good, and it's openly discussed that one of the reasons for this is because there are too many foreigners. Now, another cool analogy in the football world is that there is never any shame or calls of intolerance if you say that there are too many foreigners. It's widely accepted that the right way to do things is to nurture local talent, and again, it doesn't seem to be a thing that countries agree on, and I find this quite strange. I don't really want to change the way things work in the English Premiership because we have a great league, but you have to ask yourself a question: are foreigners stomping over young people, or is it that young people are just too lazy and not as good? And I'm not just saying this as a stereotypical argument. It might actually be true that perhaps in England people are a little too lazy and not as hungry as foreigners, but what would happen if the local talent were given more of a chance and there was more pride, like FC Barcelona, in this country to get the most out of our local people, So yeah, just throwing it out there, just a crazy example of how football just gives so many ideas about how the world works, and maybe there are things that we can learn from it, maybe not. Personally, I'm an Arsenal fan, and my team is not doing so well right now because we have, in my opinion and many people's opinion, a team where there are not enough English players, and therefore there's not this kind of pride, this North London pride. We haven't got that kind of English grit we need to win the league, and yeah, one of many kind of questions raised in the world of football. And yeah, just hope you think a little bit more about it and watch football because it's the best sport in the world.